I have never seen Bob so happy. And I bet you're thrilled about this baby.
Oh, you bet we are. I'm only going to have one.
Well, I've heard that can happen. Well, I just hope Bob keeps his cool a little bit better than Jeff did when the time comes.
I just hope we don't get caught in an elevator the way you did.
When is the baby due?
End of the summer.
Do you want a boy or a girl?
Yes.
Of course, we could find out, but we decided we'd rather be surprised.
Oh, I think that's best.
I do, too.
I would want to know.
Well, I think I would, too. Well, it's a good thing you two agreed. That way, Steve knows well in advance what color to paint the nursery.
Oh, well, we decided to wait a little while on that next edition because Betsy's going to be, working and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you guys already have a beautiful baby.
Yeah, she looks just like Betsy.
Danny is having such a good time with the quads.
Oh, I couldn't get over her face when she walked in and saw them all there.
She must have. Annie, are all the kids going to be able to come to the party?
Oh, I hope so.
I wonder how many golden anniversaries quads have attended.
Maybe ours will be the first.
But it is.
So when Hobson called, he said he wanted to talk to Kim and Frannie.
Why? He's read their statements.
He didn't say. He seemed pleasant enough. I told him how hard this had been on Frannie and that we had a family celebration coming up, and he said it could wait.
There's something I don't understand. Why does he need to talk to them in person himself?
What is the DA doing here, okay? And why does he have a file marked Hughes? I know you know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, Hal. We'll talk, okay?
I've read all the statements, and I met with Marcia Talbot and...
Marcia Talbot's as demented as Doug Cummings was. She tried. She killed Kevin Gibson. She would have killed Frannie Hughes if he hadn't jumped in her way.
Well, there are some striking discrepancies between Mrs. Hughes' statement and Marcia Talbot's account of what happened.
I'm sure there are. Kim Hughes was telling the truth.
I have some problems with Frannie Hughes' statement as well.
You're talking about the fact that Doug Cummings was impotent. Frannie Hughes had every reason to believe that he was attacking her sexually.
That's not what I'm talking about. Bring in the model. I had it made in Boulder. It's a model of the bedroom where Cummings was killed. Thank you. I had it made to scale. Perfectly accurate. Now, this is where Cummings was killed. I'll show you one of the problems I have with Kim Hughes' statement. Just look closely.
Yes, Dusty Donovan, please. He's staying with John Dixon. Yeah, I'll wait. Mama, I thought you were taking a bath.
I was going to, but I was going to be home soon. Go on, you can use the phone.
It's all right, I'll wait.
Hold on, put the chick pack with his mother. Put a little tag around his leg so I know which one it is.
You're going to have fun watching that grow. You'll be surprised how fast.
And then we'll have it for dinner.
What?
Don't pay any attention to it.
I gotta go back into the barn, Ma.
Come here, Meg.
Hey, Craig, how you doing, buddy?
Craig.
Inside.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Oh, my goodness, what a night. You're just in time for dinner.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
What, Lily said another plate?
No. I did not stop by for dinner. I just stopped by
Don't
for...
fight with this woman. It's impossible. It's pointless.
Okay.
Give me a drink.
That's good.
Give me this coat. Give me this coat.
Thanks. Hey, kid, what is it with this place? I came over here expecting you to be a mess. I knew you had a fight with your mother, and you're all rosy-cheeked and smiling, huh?
Well, I had a fight with my mother, a very bad one, as a matter of fact. But I talked to Iva about it. She's great. She really helped me through it.
You two are starting to become good friends, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I could tell her anything. She really understands me.
Look, Mrs. Walsh, I just want you to know what was going on with me, okay? I wasn't home. I was living at my aunt and uncle's farm in Kansas, and I find out I'm pregnant. God, I was just a kid myself. I was a baby. I didn't have anybody to talk to. I couldn't tell my parents. So I ran away. I went to Chicago. I ended up at some home for girls in trouble, you know. And they told me about this lawyer who would find, you know, good homes for the baby and find a couple, you know, who would really care for it and love it a lot. So I went to this lawyer and I talked to him and I signed a few papers. And then when I had the baby, I give her up. I mean, I knew I couldn't give her anything. So I was out on the west coast. I was living there, and all of a sudden I started reading articles about some lawyer in Chicago who was selling babies for money and making a lot of money, and I felt it was him. I felt it. So I went back there, and I tried to find this lawyer, but he was murdered.
Hear any more
Now listen to
of
me,
this.
Mrs. Walsh. Listen, please. I located his wife, and his wife let me look through a bunch of papers, and I found a notebook. And there, next to my baby's name, was M. Guest. Martin Guest, Mrs. Walsh, your husband.
All right. How much do you want?
Oh, no. No, I don't want money. Oh, Mrs. Walsh. I just want Lily to be happy.
I've given Lily everything. All her life she's had.
No, but you haven't given her what she really needs most. You have put your career and your life in front of her. You've just given her things. That's all. She needs a mother who would love her.
What right do you have? What right do you have to stand there and say things like that to me?
She's my baby, Mrs. Walsh, and I love her very much. And I know I gave her up, and I really don't feel the right to come back into her life right now, except that she is very, very unhappy.
My dear, she may have been your baby, but she is my daughter, and she is happy.
I think I know better, Mrs. Walsh. I want you to change. I really want you to change. I'm going to give you a month. I'm going to give you a month to try to be a good mother to her, loving and caring and sensitive. And if you do that, Mrs. Walsh, if you do that, Lily will never know that I'm her natural mother. But if you don't, you leave me no choice but to tell her the truth.
This portion of As the World Turns has been brought to you today by Rich Delicious Mountain Grown Folgers Crystals and by Butter-Flavored Crisco. It gives baked and fried foods a rich butter flavor. We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment.